Yay, welcome back to Influence Wars, where we expose who is fighting to own your attention online, how they stand to benefit, and how you can remain digitally sober throughout all of it. I am your host, Anti-Prophet, and today's topic is Starbucks. So Starbucks has somehow managed to piss off both sides of the internet, because if you're on the right, it's because their employees are whiny, overcoddled brats that always complain to management and seem to always have a camera around to film their complaining. However, if you're on the left, you hate Starbucks because it is a cold corporate monster that chews up its workers and spits them out. And lately, the chaos has spilled onto TikTok and Twitter, where baristas are airing their dirty aprons, if you will. And honestly, the vibe is somewhere between late-stage capitalism and high school meltdown.
The thing that Starbucks loves to do is allow partners to be themselves or whatever that PR that they want to push. I don't understand how that's in good faith of letting us express ourselves. I don't understand how that's supposed to embody craft and culture or bring back to that mental health kind of vibe that Starbucks is asking for. Because for some reason, you all can't understand how to schedule more people in a zone. You can't understand people in the different time alone. And you can't understand that it's not appropriate to tell someone that they're not okay, that they should be doing the work of 4 people. It's disrespectful.
This is not a legal action that Starbucks is taking by unilaterally deciding what the gas bill is going to be, and then creating this so-called feedback section where you have to file this reagents and we'll just expect it to laugh and see and see that stuff line back here. See something that we can
any of these partners feel manipulated by all of you all who are also continuing to push this agenda on us. And that's all I really.
All right, so as always, before we go on, how did that clip make you feel? Did it make you feel confused, fired up, a little bit smug? Remember, the emotion that you're feeling right now, that is the point of that video, because multiple people made sure that video showed up on your feed in order to reverse engineer the feeling that you're feeling right now. But before we talk about the people who benefit from you seeing this video, let's talk about why this video is trending in the first place. Because there is a growing tension online right now. Wages feel like a joke, vacations feel out of reach, and everyone is struggling to pay rent. If you're on the right, you watch a video like this and you think to yourself, these people are such complainers, go out and get a job or go out and get more training in order to work in trades, fix your own life. Whereas people on the left looked at this and they think to themselves, oh my God, this is a total product of late stage capitalism. Society is completely unfair. But regardless of which side of the political spectrum you're on, that underlying anxiety, that underlying fear of how the job market is going to play out in the future is sitting there under the surface for literally everyone. And the thing that further exacerbates this is the fact that every scroll on your phone is reminding you that someone out there is richer, freer, and living your dream life with an oat milk latte in one hand and passive income in the other. And again, all of this makes sense because we're not just anxious about what's happening in the job market right now. We're terrified about what's coming because AI agents and robot workers are scaling up fast. And the idea that even these low-paying jobs at Starbucks, which are high stress, these ones are about to be replaced by machines. And that hits deeper than most people want to admit because they know it's not going to just stop with Starbucks employees. It's going to make its way to the white-collar job sector very, very soon as well. And so again, content like this doesn't just trend because it's shocking or because you don't like the person on screen who has a beard who doesn't really look like a guy. It trends because it gives shape to a fear that we haven't figured out how to process yet. And it gives you a villain. You're able to become angry with the person on your screen rather than the entirety of the situation that's coming down the pipe. So now let's take a look at the other characters who benefit from you watching a video like this. In the case of this video, there are 3 primary parties that we need to take a look at. Number 1 is the person in the video. Number 2 is the Starbucks Workers Union. And number 3 is the repost account of this video, which is at Jason on X, who is an angel investor and American entrepreneur. So now, regarding the person in the video, going forward, I'm going to leave their gender open-ended because I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. But the thing that is important here is her presence in this video does something for her reputationally and emotionally. She benefits from this video blowing up. And as a result of that, she wants this video to show up in your feed. Because make no mistake, this video is rocket fuel for social capital for an individual like this. If you think the lady in the video didn't just become the toast of the town in her social group after this clip went viral, you are literally living in a fantasy land. Because this is a social windfall. What we are witnessing is the creation of a micro celebrity, someone who just got launched to the top of their internal social hierarchy for simply being in the right place at the right time with the right performance. And yes, I do mean performance, because even if the emotion was real, the decision to speak up on camera in that moment is a calculated one. Because when a video like this hits the algorithm jackpot and you happen to be the one embodying a righteous cause, especially if that cause is framed through a lens of activism, solidarity, or justice, you instantly become a symbolic figure. People project meaning onto you. And in the eyes of people who already believe in the struggle being depicted, you're not just a person anymore. You are the person, a hero, a leader, an avatar for the movement. And that role comes with power, even if it is informal, even if no one says it out loud. Now, here's where things get more interesting. That power doesn't just exist in comment sections or on timelines. It can be translated into real world influence, because someone who goes viral for speaking up on behalf of workers, for example, can now approach labor organizations, nonprofits, even socialist or leftist academic circles and say, hey, look at the numbers on this video. I've been a voice for this movement. And that opens doors. And whether that's intentional or opportunistic doesn't really matter. The effect is the same. And this is key, especially when your moment of fame comes via amplification from someone you ideologically oppose. In this case, the person who reposted the video, Jason Calacanis, I don't know how you say it, is a known tech capitalist, someone who represents the exact type of figure many in these circles consider to be the enemy. And that right there adds narrative drama to the person in the video's whole entire arc and story. Because now the story isn't just I stood up for what's right. It becomes even the capitalist pigs can't help but share my truth. And that amplifies the moral weight. That is what makes you untouchable in certain subcultures, because it deepens your mythos. It makes you look like a righteous flame of truth burning so brightly that even your enemies can't help but give you airtime. So now let's head over to the second party who wants you to see this footage, which is the Starbucks Workers United Union. Now, the name of this party kind of says it all. Starbucks Workers United is a union that specifically organizes, supports, and advocates for employees of Starbucks. And their entire existence is rooted in giving Starbucks workers a louder voice. And when you understand that, it makes sense why a video like this, one that frames the workers as mistreated or dismissed for seemingly arbitrary or unfair reasons, like this would be something they'd want out in the world. They'd want to document something like this to push to people online. Now, the reason that Starbucks Workers United would publicly say they want you to see a video like this is because they would say that they believe in workers deserving transparency when it comes to how discipline is handed down, how dress code rules are enforced, and how power is exercised inside of corporate franchises. So at a baseline level, they would say this is a pro-transparency move. They believe that public scrutiny creates better outcomes for workers. That if companies know their actions might go viral, they'll think twice before stepping out of line. And to be fair, that logic isn't without merit. But here's where things get interesting. Because even though their goal is transparency, this video doesn't make Starbucks Workers United look neutral. It doesn't make them look like passive observers. It makes them look like skilled strategic media actors, because they are. Even the way this video was filmed completely influences the narrative and the feeling you have walking away after having watched it. Not heavily, not dishonestly, but it is intentional nonetheless. For example, there's a moment at the end of the video where the camera zooms in on someone who appears to be management, someone who's out of uniform, someone who, at least through this framing, becomes a symbol of hypocrisy. The message is clear here. The rules don't apply to everyone, especially not the people who enforce them. That's essentially the message that the union is putting out. And the crazy thing here is that little throwaway detail, like that is actually the emotional hook to this video. Had the person who filmed this clip chosen to leave that out, the whole video would have felt flatter. It would have lacked teeth. But with that one zoom, that one piece of on-screen text, you get an emotional shift. The whole thing pivots from just look at this thing happening to look at the double standard and the hypocrisy. And then suddenly, what you're watching isn't just an HR issue, it is a story about class, power, and exploitation. Because when this video pops off, it doesn't just spread outrage, it spreads awareness of the union itself. It rallies sympathizers, it brings new workers into the fold. It shows people who've never considered organizing that they're not alone. In other words, it's recruiting material. So now that we have talked about party number 3, let's talk about the third and final actor in this viral ecosystem of this particular trending clip, and the one who is arguably the most powerful actor of the 3. Now, the person I'm talking about is known as Jason Calacanis. I think I said it right this time. Who is known as @Jason on X. And again, he's an angel investor, an American entrepreneur, and one of the hosts of the All In podcast, which is a show that is widely seen as the unofficial group chat for tech billionaires and the conservative startup founder movement in America. This guy sits shoulder to shoulder with Chamath Palihapitiya, who was an ex-Facebook executive before becoming a billionaire VC, as well as David Sachs, who is part of the PayPal mafia and is also a key figure of Donald Trump's current administration. And all of this is important because it makes what Jason chooses to post online all the more revealing. So when we look at the video and the way that he framed it, we read his tweet and it says, "If I'm the CEO of Starbucks, I'm putting everyone in a uniform with zero flair. We just want great coffee, serve it briskly, get back to work, folks. Enough bullshit, work faster." Now on the surface, that just sounds like the classic get off my lawn CEO tweet. But when you understand Jason's position, his influence, his audience, and his incentives, it becomes obvious that this wasn't just a passing thought he decided to share over coffee. It was a strategic move. Because when you go into the replies of this post, things heat up pretty quickly. One user says, "Jason, flair inspires workers. It's science." And he replies back with saying, "Bullshit. The right workers take pride in making a perfect beverage quickly and delighting users and building the brand. Rate every interaction, fire people with low scores, and give stock to people with high ratings. Done." Now here, Jason isn't just stating an opinion. He is performing. He's playing a very specific role in a very specific theater, because the modern information battlefield, where your tweet isn't just a tweet, it is a signal to two very different audiences. Like, you have to structure your writings online in a certain way to appeal to your audience. Now, the audience that he's speaking to are, like I said, twofold. On one hand, he's speaking directly to a class of elite entrepreneurs, his peers, his funders, his allies, people who believe, like he does, that the American economy works best when companies are unshackled, workers are optimized, and market logic is treated like a moral law. But on the other hand, he's baiting the rest of society. Specifically, he's baiting the people who see the Starbucks worker as a symbol of something else, a younger, more precarious working class that's trying to claw back some control through organizing, through empathy, through refusal. And Jason knows these people hate him. He knows they see CEOs as villains, not visionaries, and he uses that hatred to his advantage. Because ultimately, Jason is not trying to win over the average user on X. He's not trying to convince the barista or the activist or the disillusioned Gen Z creator that his worldview is correct. He's trying to look impressive to other powerful people. He is playing to centimillionaires and billionaire investors who already agree with him ideologically, and entrepreneurial fanboys and policy shapers who see him as a kind of avatar for the pro-business American renaissance. And this dual audience for him is crucial because Jason doesn't just want followers, he wants credibility. He wants clout in elite financial and political spaces. And the way to earn that clout in this ecosystem is not through humility or nuance or policy literacy, it's through dominance in the attention economy. Having a large online following doesn't just make you famous, it makes you useful. It gives you a weapon. If Jason decides to back a startup, promote a political idea, or go to bat for a certain piece of legislation, he now has a ready-made army of millions of people across platforms who will see that message, amplify it, and reinforce it. That kind of visibility can shape perception at scale. It can nudge public sentiment just enough to make a politician feel pressure, or make a business partner see dollar signs, or make a regulatory committee think twice about passing a piece of legislation. Because when you have this much attention, especially on a platform like X, you don't just win deals, you literally manufacture reality. This is why Jason posts the way that he does. It's why he leans into inflammatory takes, not because he's trying to be funny or provocative or even based, but because he's operating in a media environment where negative attention is indistinguishable from power. So to recap, when you come across a video like this on social media and you're just scrolling through your video feed, you watch this video and you end up leaving with an opinion about whether or not you like the person on your screen and what it is that they're talking about. Because what they're saying either affirms your worldview or it makes you super crazy angry, usually to the point of causing you to watch the video all the way through or comment on it or downvote it or like it or whatever, which ends up boosting it to more and more people. The real question here is whether or not you want to benefit all of the parties involved in this video, the person in the video, the union, Jason. These are all of the people you reward by interacting with this video. Do you want to benefit all these people in this way? Because going back to that question that I asked at the beginning of the video, how did that video make you feel? You got to think about how videos like this affect you in your day-to-day life. If the answer to this question is that videos like that either make you feel worse or they make you feel self-righteous, neither of which are positive emotions, then do you really want to force yourself to feel worse and worse and worse in order to benefit a trans person in the video, a workers' union, and a billionaire? Like, you have better things to do. I know you do. So remember, the algorithm always gives you what it knows that you want. It is designed to maintain your attention by learning your behavior and mirroring back what your subconscious is seeking out in the world. And the question is, do you like what you see when you look into that algorithmic mirror? That right there is the only question worth asking. And if you want to take that question even deeper to see just how far down that rabbit hole goes, then click on this video right here.